Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Now, ever since Joe Joyce has turned pro, he's been calling out some pretty big names that maybe he shouldn't really be calling out. But hey, maybe he's ready for these people. So let's add to the list of him already calling out the likes of Derek Chisora and Bryant Jennings and Big Baby Jarrell Miller and many others. Okay, let's add to the list King Kong Luis Ortiz. It's the latest one that Joe Joyce has been calling out. And if you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button. Actually, if you haven't, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Click the damn button, subscribe. So Joe Joyce is looking to make some big waves in the heavyweight division. Of course, currently he is the Commonwealth heavyweight champion after defeating Lenroy Thomas and by stopping him as well in very early rounds. So Joe Joyce is looking the real deal, but how good is he? Time will tell. Anyway, let's get straight into his statement about King Kong Luis Ortiz. Joe Joyce statement: I'm ready for anything, so it would be a good challenge to take on Ortiz. Hopefully, we can make the fight. I like making statements. Like my debut, a 10-round main event, I won the British Commonwealth title in my 4th fight, so I like to break records and be the first to do things. That's what I want to do. Hopefully, I can get a world title in record time too. I thought Ortiz did well against Wilder. I think he ran out of gas, and that's when he got taken out. And I don't run out of gas. That is Joe Joyce's statement. So, if he was to get Joe Joyce, or sorry, if Joe Joyce was to get Luis Ortiz, then, and beat him, wow, that is one hell of a statement in, what, half a dozen fights? That is insane. Now, according to the boxing scene, which is what he spoke to, although he didn't actually say this in the article here, just what boxing scene said, that he said that he wants Luis Ortiz, but not next, but maybe the fight after. So next, we do know that he wants to be fighting on the Joshua Povetkin undercard September the 22nd at Wembley Stadium, and with an opponent yet to be announced. Originally, he wanted Nick Webb. He was given the opportunity to fight Nick Webb on the White Parker undercard this past weekend, but because he parted ways with his trainer Ismail Salas and the fact he was on holiday, he said that it wasn't enough time to prepare for Nick Webb. So anyway, now he has a new trainer in Gennady Golovkin, Triple G's trainer and Murat Gaziev's trainer, along with other people's trainer, of course, in Abel Sanchez. So he's been spending a bit of time over there in California at Big Bear. So Abel Sanchez is his new trainer, which is excellent. I like that. Ismail Salas, of course, he went off to Dubai, I think it is, right after David Haye retired. He said, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to go into like a semi-retirement. He went over to Dubai and now is training a super middleweight prospect in Fahad Al Thani, who is a very good fighter. So keep your eye out for that one. Now, Joe Joyce, is he just calling out these people? Is he just calling out Ortiz, Bryant Jennings and Baby Miller and Derek Chisora, knowing that these people are not actually going to fight him? That's one way of looking at it, just to try and make it look like he's really going for it. Put your name out there. It's almost like a self-promotional. Now, David Haye of Haymaker, who's of course his promotional team, along with Richard Schaefer of Ringstar as well, these guys have a lot of faith in him and they want to fast track him due to the fact that Joe Joyce is, what, 32 years old, turned pro pretty late after a very good stellar amateur career. So they really want to be pushing on him. But is Luis Ortiz a bit too early? Is Bryant Jennings and all these other guys a bit too early? Well, time will tell. But, you know, he is right. In his debut fight, he fought Ian Lewison, who is a very decent fighter, and he dominated him. And he has had a couple of knockover fights, let's be honest, people who did come just to lay down, get a payday. But ultimately, Lenroy Thomas, when he won the Commonwealth heavyweight title as well. And while I picked Joe Joyce to beat him, and I'll probably say by stoppage as well, if I remember rightly, he did it in quick time, very quick time. So what's going to happen next? Is he going to fight on the Wembley card September 22nd, Joshua Povetkin, against who? Well, it could potentially be Dave Allen, as Dave Allen did beat Nick Webb, and this was for like a final eliminator for the British heavyweight title. Now, Hughie Fury is the British heavyweight champion, and it does look like he's about to vacate that title real soon, because he's looking to become a world champion. It looks like he could well be fighting Kubrat Pulev. That purse bid is on Wednesday, I believe. So at that point, he may well vacate the British heavyweight title, in which case it will be vacant. And who better than Dave Allen, who is the final eliminator for that title, and Joe Joyce, the Commonwealth heavyweight title. So, I don't know, who knows? Joe Joyce versus Dave Allen. But Of course, Dave Allen, he wants to have a little bit of time off, maybe have a fight in December, depending on who it is. This is what Dave Allen said. But you know what? Money talks. Let's wait and see. So, all going well for Joe Joyce in whatever his next fight may be. He's looking to make Luis Ortiz straight after. Would Luis Ortiz be interested? It's a risky fight for not only Ortiz, but any kind of pro out there, because it's very, very high risk and very little reward. And what I mean by that is they're going to need a lot of money, first of all, to even tempt them. But second of all, if they lose to Joe Joyce, it's not a good look, okay, as he's only had half a dozen fights. Also, if they beat Joe Joyce, people say, well, Joe Joyce, you know, he was a novice, he stepped up too far. So again, they're not going to get too much credit. So would these guys really want to fight Joe Joyce? Money talks, of course, but, you know, some of these guys, do they really need the money? Does Bryant Jennings, Big Baby Jaron Miller, Luis Ortiz, and whatever, do they really need the money? Do they want the scalp of Joe Joyce? Do they rate him? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Luis Ortiz does seem like he'll fight anybody, but of course he wants a rematch with Wilder. He felt that he should have potentially stopped Wilder in that fight, and ultimately he did gas out, and Wilder did stop him, of course, in round number 10. So what does he do now? It's unlikely he's going to get a Dillian Whyte fight for a final eliminator for the WBC, and even if that fight did happen, the winner's going to have to wait 18 months to 2 years to get a hold of Wilder anyway, or potentially Tyson Fury, of course, as these guys are in deep talks right now for a fight in December. And though this fight is not confirmed, no matter what people tell you, it's not officially signed, sealed or delivered. It's just a rumoured date. That's a date that they're planning for. So it's not done yet. But no, I know. No matter who wins that fight between Wilder or Tyson, the mandatory, the WBC mandatory, is going to have to wait for a very long time. Unless, of course, your name is Dominic Brazil, in which case you will be next in line immediately after. But anyway, so you drop your thoughts about Joe Joyce. Do you really think he's serious about Luis Ortiz? How do you think he'll get on against Luis Ortiz? And, of course, Bryant Jennings and Jaron Miller. Any of these guys that he's calling out. Does he have a legitimate chance against these guys? Against Luis Ortiz, I would say it's a very, very tough fight, hard to call. And if Joe Joyce is as good as what people say he is, then he's got a very good chance, as he is very, very athletic. He just needs to get a little bit more hand speed behind him, I think. But anyway, you drop your thoughts. And as I said before, don't be a nutcase. Click that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all on the very next video.